It is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Epictetus. What if the suffering we experience isn't a punishment from life, nor a curse from the world, but a mirror reflecting the turmoil within us? This radical idea, central to the teachings of Garchen Rinpoche, a deeply respected Tibetan Buddhist master, turns the conventional understanding of pain on its head. His wisdom urges us to stop seeking external culprits for our anguish, and instead invites us on a journey inward, where the true origins of our suffering reside. No matter how much we strive for pleasure and peace, discomfort finds its way into our lives. According to Rinpoche, this isn't a cruel twist of fate, but the natural result of seeds we've already sown. Every unexamined thought, every unchecked emotion, every self-serving action forms the groundwork for the distress we later face. Suffering, then, is not a random visitor. It is the consequence of the mental landscape we've unconsciously cultivated. This realization might feel daunting at first. It forces us to ask uncomfortable questions. Are we the creators of our own misery? The answer, Rinpoche teaches, is yes, but this is not a condemnation. It is an invitation. At the core of our suffering lies something deeply familiar, our own sense of self. Not the innocent awareness of being, but the inflated, reactive ego that sees itself as separate and threatened. This ego constructs an illusion that the world must conform to its desires, that others are competitors or obstacles, and that happiness comes from gaining or avoiding certain things. From this delusion, a host of toxic emotions arise: jealousy, fear, anger, greed. These emotions do not simply come and go, they dominate our actions, skew our perceptions, and bind us to patterns that keep reproducing suffering. In this way, our pain is not merely a passing event, but the echo of a mind entranced by its own illusions. One of the most challenging yet liberating teachings of Garchen Rinpoche is that we are responsible for the quality of our inner world. This is not about blame, it is about empowerment. When we understand that our reactions, thoughts, and intentions shape our experiences, we stop being victims of life and begin to engage with it consciously. It's far easier to blame the world than to examine ourselves, but real transformation begins when we take radical accountability. Only then can we begin to dismantle the inner mechanisms that keep generating pain. Life will test us. Hardship is inevitable, but how we meet it makes all the difference. When we understand suffering not as an external assault, but as an invitation to grow, everything changes. Instead of resisting or resenting pain, we learn to sit with it, observe it, and learn from it. In doing so, we build inner resilience, not the brittle strength that fights reality, but the quiet power that flows with it. The more we practice patience, awareness, and compassion in moments of difficulty, the less power suffering has over us. The key to liberation lies in turning inward and cultivating qualities that dissolve suffering at its root. Garchen Rinpoche teaches that happiness is not found in changing the world, but in transforming the mind. By nurturing kindness, humility, mindfulness, and gratitude, we shift from a reactive existence to an intentional one. This inner work isn't abstract, it's practical. Meditation allows us to witness our mental patterns. Ethical living aligns our actions with wisdom. Compassionate service expands our sense of self beyond the ego. Together, these practices create the fertile ground where authentic peace can grow. The teachings of Garchen Rinpoche don't offer easy answers. They offer something far more powerful: the realization that the door to freedom has always been within us. When we stop feeding the ego's illusions and start aligning with deeper truths, suffering no longer dominates our lives. It becomes a teacher, a guide. In the end, the pursuit of happiness is not about acquiring more or avoiding discomfort. It's about remembering who we truly are beneath the noise of the mind. When we live from that still place of awareness and compassion, the cycles of suffering dissolve, and what remains is peace, not as a fleeting emotion, but as a state of being. Garchen Rinpoche's message is simple, yet transformative. Your suffering is not the enemy, it's the signal. It points you back to the mind that created it, and in doing so, it offers the greatest opportunity of all, to awaken.